Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Welcome. Right now, the very ground beneath our feet is shifting. And I'm not talking metaphorically here. The modern city is undergoing a profound structural transformation that is honestly unlike anything we have ever seen before. From how our streets are literally wired, all the way up to how our local neighborhoods are governed, absolutely everything is changing. To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this, just think about this number, 70%. According to projections by the United Nations, nearly 70% of the entire global population is going to be living in urban areas very soon. For the first time in human history, there are more of us living in cities than out in rural spaces. We're looking at a rapid urbanization crisis of scale that desperately demands our immediate attention, mostly because it's absolutely going to dictate the future of human connection. So how exactly are our neighborhoods transforming? Well, here's our structural roadmap for today's explainer, so you know exactly where we're headed. We're going to unpack 5 key trends. We'll start with the urban shift, then look at the concept of the 15-minute city, dig into the true cost of renewal, explore the intersection of smart tech and climate, and finally wrap up with the democratic blueprint. All right, section 1, the urban shift and redefining the concrete jungle. You know, this massive global migration to urban centers, it isn't just about pouring more concrete or building taller glass skyscrapers. It goes way deeper than that. Experts are calling this urban evolution. It's this profound transformation in how cities are designed, how they're wired, governed, and ultimately how they're lived in. The absolutely crucial point here is that this isn't just architectural. It's heavily behavioral. The way our metropolitan spaces physically change directly dictates how we behave, how we go to work, and most importantly, how we connect with one another on a daily basis. Moving right along to trend number 2, the 15-minute city. Is it about reclaiming our time, or is it actually segmenting society? Okay, so imagine a framework where your daily necessities, your workplace, getting groceries, your kids' education, your doctor, are all just a short 15-minute walk or bike ride from your front door. This idea really took off in Paris, and it's spreading like wildfire across the globe. And there's a utopian promise here, right? Commute times plummet, which lowers carbon emissions and drastically decreases your personal stress. You shop at local businesses, creating what sociologists call high social capital, basically those tight-knit networks of trust that keep communities super resilient. But critics are warning of a pretty dark reality, specifically the risk of enclaving. If neighborhoods become entirely self-contained, wealthy districts can easily just hoard all the high-end amenities. Meanwhile, historically underfunded areas risk intense structural isolation, essentially trapping lower-income populations in literal food deserts within a 15-minute radius that offers zero upward mobility. That naturally brings us to section 3, the cost of renewal, where we need to look closely at gentrification and cultural displacement. Now, what's really interesting about this next concept is the harsh ground-level reality hiding right behind positive-sounding buzzwords like neighborhood revitalization. We call this the inversion of affordability. Just picture it. You have a decaying historic brick factory in a local neighborhood. Developers swoop in, they pour massive capital into the area, and they transform that old factory into a trendy tech hub or a sleek block of luxury lofts. Boom. Suddenly, property values and municipal taxes absolutely skyrocket. And the data shows a striking, honestly heartbreaking trend here. Within just a single decade, these aggressively revitalized neighborhoods see a rapid, dramatic drop in their long-standing minority and working-class populations. They don't choose to leave. They are simply priced out. And the toll isn't just a financial one either. Residents experience severe displacement anxiety. This is the deep psychological and cultural hit that a community takes when mom-and-pop stores, traditional landmarks, and multi-generational community halls are systematically stripped away. And what replaces them? Uniform, sterile, upscale retail chains. The neighborhood's historic identity is basically erased to prioritize incoming wealth, leaving the remaining residents feeling completely culturally alienated in their own hometowns. Let's shift gears to trend 4, smart tech and climate. We are essentially designing for survival at this point. And this brilliantly illustrates how we're no longer just designing cities to look pretty. Our modern streets are literally becoming living, sensing data ecosystems. We've got hyper-adaptive mobility, which uses real-time traffic sensors to drastically reduce transit wait times and clear up urban gridlock. Then there's grid-level AI, using smart building sensors to dynamically drop a neighborhood's aggregate carbon footprint. And we even have geospatial AI, or GeoAI, streamlining interactive mapping so city planners can deploy emergency services faster than ever before. It's this incredibly optimized sci-fi vision of the future.
But we have to ask a critical question here. What actually happens when essential public services migrate entirely over to a smartphone interface? While we are aggressively pushing for highly efficient, intelligent infrastructure, we're simultaneously creating a severe digital divide. Low-income neighborhoods frequently lack the underlying high-speed fiber networks or even just the digital literacy required to use these new systems. If your entire city runs on a handful of apps, vulnerable populations risk being completely locked out of their own municipal systems.
Now, beyond the digital tech, cities are also utilizing physical design to survive our escalating extreme weather. Enter the sponge city. This is such a cool concept pioneered in Asia and Northern Europe. Instead of funneling stormwater through rigid, cracking concrete pipes, cities are refitting their streets with permeable asphalt and gorgeous urban wetlands. They're literally designing floodable public parks. During a dry spell, these are basketball courts and community plazas. But during a massive flash storm, they intentionally submerge. They act like a giant sponge to absorb millions of gallons of water, effectively saving the surrounding residential homes from flooding. Yet, just like that digital divide we talked about, environmental stressors are rarely distributed equally. Wealthy financial districts get the premium green walls, the lush urban forests, and all that life-saving climate resilience. But dense, low-income districts and informal settlements, they're often stuck with vast swaths of heat-trapping asphalt and zero tree cover. This results in a brutal urban heat island effect, where the temperature is physically hotter in poorer neighborhoods. This creates a massive environmental justice gap, turning sustainability into a luxury tool of economic exclusion rather than collective protection.
Finally, we reach Section 5, the democratic blueprint, reclaiming the city.
For centuries, cities were designed entirely from the top down by master builders, leaving the actual locals completely detached from the process. But that is finally shifting. Today, advanced digital planning tools and GIS software are empowering ordinary citizens to actively shape their own horizons. It usually happens in two major steps. Step 1 is participatory budgeting, where residents literally get to vote to allocate a direct percentage of municipal tax revenue to their own local grassroots projects. Step 2 is co-design workshops. Citizens actually partner with architectural firms, using digital simulation tools to actively decide exactly where new public parks, affordable housing, or bike lanes should go. It totally democratizes the very blueprint of the neighborhood.
Which brings us to the ultimate crossroads of this explainer. You have to ask yourself about your own city right now. Will this rapid urban evolution act as an equalizer or an engine of division? Will these structural changes provide clean air, resilient infrastructure, and vibrant economies for everyone? Or will they just accelerate displacement and isolate the people who simply can't afford the steep price of admission into a smart neighborhood?
I want to leave you with this really powerful takeaway directly from the source material at Trending News Fox. As we navigate this era of radical urban reinvention, balancing commercial progress with cultural preservation is the only sustainable blueprint forward. Balance is absolutely the key. The true benchmark of a successful city isn't the height of its skyline. It's how equitably it supports the everyday people walking on its streets. So keep a close eye on the evolution happening in your own neighborhood. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.